Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'd like to talk about casting and mirroring or using the internal applications because lots of questions are coming from you at the comment section that how can I, cast to my smartphone to my cheap projector. Basically, most of the questions comes to the products like $50 to $100 range cheapest projectors. Some of them can cast. And what do you mean by casting? I will get into these topics. So many of you probably have a TV at the home, and I'm going to start with the TV. But before that, I'm going to tell you in this video, instead of a casting, I prefer cables 90% of the time. Unless it's in a house environment and I'm casting to a TV or a good projector or a good dongle. This is Type-C to HDMI cable, 1.5 meters. I love it. And this is, I carry with my bag. I also use it with my laptops. Like this is a Type-C to female HDMI converter short cable. So you can use this with any kind of like HDMI cables. If you go somewhere with your smartphone, if those people have like PlayStations and Xboxes, and they probably have some kind of HDMI cable, and you can use this to connect your smartphone to the TV, share your videos directly with the family members. But the ease of use of both of these cables are not comparable with any kind of like even with the best casting system, because when you cast, you use the Wi-Fi protocol or the network protocol. It's going to lag a little bit depending on your hardware, and it's going to depend on your hardware. Let me just repeat this. It's going to depend both your TV hardware, your projector internal hardware like the Android inside, or your dongle hardware. What's the CPU and GPU inside of that dongle, and what kind of a Wi-Fi capabilities is it going to have, like a good Wi-Fi signal, or it has a bad Wi-Fi capabilities depending on the device that you have. It's going to depend the hardware too much instead of a cable. So in the beginning of the video, without getting to the other side of the details, I highly recommend if you buy a cheap product like $50 to let's just say $100 cheap projectors, even they have casting inside of them without the Android, because many of the cheap projectors don't have the Android, but they have the casting. You can cast to them, but it's not going to make them efficient, and you will have probably latency, you will have probably synchronization, you might have pixelization along the way, and I will explain the reasons behind it. But like I told you, it depends on the hardware, and when you're buying something cheap, don't expect too much of a thing. And when it comes down to the cheap Android inside, quote, because they declare the Android inside, but many of the $60 to $100, $120 range, maybe even up to $150 range projectors, depending on the brand, they don't have the Android license. They don't have a proper Google Play license. They just put inside a default Android theme and default Google Play version. But when you check the Google Play license, they don't have the Google Play license. You can't install some of the apps. You have to download from App Store, or you have to download them as an APK and install from USB thumb drive. And they are not safe. Okay, let me just repeat it. They are not safe to share your credit card information with your Netflix account, with your Amazon Prime account, with any kind of account that you really value, or your credit card inside. If you don't have let's just say, if you haven't created artificial like credit card, like the banks will be able to give you an option like you have your legit credit card, and based on that you create a virtual credit card, and even if the information is stolen, your virtual credit card has some sort of limit. If you don't do that, you might have some sort of trouble because of the safety of those products. So getting back to the topic, why I love the cables and what is the casting. So when you cast, okay, you got options. This is a smart 2023 QNET 81 65-inch TV from LG, and I will review this TV later on because I'm going to use it for a decent amount of time, and I don't have too much of a time to, review. By the way, TVs. Let's just put my password in. I am connected to Wi-Fi with my Samsung S22 Ultra. This is my database phone, and it has a good hardware still. In 2024, it's not a cheap smartphone. It still have the top of the line, kind of like GPU and CPU and memory combination, and this is a 512 gigabytes version because I shoot a lot of stuff, and I don't have any kind of like storage problem, because when your storage is low, both for your projector and for your smartphone, the performance will go low. I explained it in the early videos. So if you have any hardware, PC, Android, or smartphone, or projector, if you upload or download movies or USB thumb drives to upload the movies inside of your projector, don't. If you fill the internal hardware, the memory, it will slow down huge. You can't really know your device anymore. That kind of like speed decrease will happen. So that's a caution. What I'm going to do is open up 8K Paradise from YouTube. I am playing most of the videos from that channel, and I right now opened it with a commercial appears. It's not a big problem with this account. It's not my pro account. Okay, we will just wait a while. By the way, while we're waiting for the commercial, it started to play. Right now my phone is playing 8K Paradise. What I'm going to do, hit the casting icon in the YouTube, and I'm going to find the WebOS TV QNET 81 or 816RA. So it started to play. But what I'm doing is not mirroring. It's not, I guess, true casting. What we're doing is giving a signal from one device as a YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime to another device that has the same applications, and right now it's playing inside. Let me just explain this. You probably, a lot of you know this already, but remind you what happens. Right now I can control it with the TV's remote because it is playing inside of TV's YouTube application. Same thing will apply to the projector. So if you have an internal Android or Android dongle, the same thing applies. You are going to be playing from the Android of your projector, of your dongle. Same thing, you're going to be playing inside application. What I'm going to do, hit the play from the smartphone, and it starts playing. And when I do that, let me just open up. If I close it and change the video from another video, same channel, if I hit the play, I'm again sending the signal to the TV to play the second video. This is not mirroring. Many of the people, when they say casting, they are referring to probably mirroring for the projectors. I don't want you to mix those things up. Like, let's stop this and cancel from my phone, and I hit the close the player, and it returned to the main page of the YouTube application of the TV. Same thing will apply to the Android dongle. And if I hit the main menu button of the TV, right now inside of the main menu, and as you can see, we got Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Disney Plus, and Netflix application. These are all coming from TV. I haven't installed anything to this TV yet. So this is kind of like casting, but actually we are sending signal. Let me just open up the phone again. What is mirroring is, if you probably you all know, but bear with me. It's not a boring subject. We have to understand this. What happens when I hit the smart view or mirroring button from my phone? It says WebOS QNET 816RI, and I say start, and it shows my smartphone's name, and it's going to share the TV with you or the phone screen with you. If I hit cancel, it will cancel. Right now, what I'm doing is giving the exact same screen of my phone to the TV. So what I'm doing has a lot of latency because I am putting Wi-Fi signal through the TV and it's popping out the screen. I am giving Wi-Fi screen, and look how it moves, okay? You can see the delay. And my phone is not in the power saving mode right now. It's in the performance mode. So what you're seeing is the best of the Samsung S22 Ultra. What if you have something like a less capabilities MTK chipset, or less capabilities old Snapdragons like 600 series? So you might have a much more lag than this. So it's highly depending on your internal hardware from your phone and also from your TV. If your TV or Android uh, projector or dongle is slow, the casting will have much more latency, okay? And you're going to have drop frames along the way. And if you have something like signal blockers or too much of a distance or too much of a Wi-Fi in the same area, let's just give you an example. If you put something, let's just, again, I'm going to play YouTube video, same video, this time from the phone. As you can see, the commercial happens and I'm going to hit cancel. Right now, this is my phone. If I return it, if I hold it like this, okay, do you see the latency? My phone rotates, but this thing's just waiting a little bit longer. And screen is not matching exactly because I am not using the internal application of TV and I have to zoom in. When I do that, I crop the visual. It's not the same thing anymore. I have to be adjusting. It's not the problem here. What is problem is, what the problem is, let's take a look how it works. Do you see how laggy it is? It's not the same thing. Everything is just, choppy. Let's just hit, right now it's 360, okay? You are seeing every bit of detail. And I'm going to push it to, since I'm using Wi-Fi, 2K, 144p. And I have to go a little bit back to make it high res again because it needs to download. Okay, we will see how choppy it is. It's same choppiness, okay? It's just moving, bit losing frames. So this will be happening with your cheapest projector much worse. That's why people buy Google TV dongles, Google 4K dongles, Xiaomi dongles. Like me, I have probably here, let me just find it if it's here, because I have lots of hardware. I have Realme 4K dongle in my bag, probably I couldn't find it here, but I have a 4K Realme dongle that I use for projector reviews. And probably I'm going to buy the latest Google TV 4K or 8K new dongle when it's coming out. Because when you have those sort of hardwares, you're not going to have this sort of problem. You're going to use the internal hardware. You're not going to be mirroring. So can you game on the mirroring? Let's just go back. By the way, as I mentioned, I need to clean the background apps. Can you game? Let's just open up the Beach Buggy 2. Do you see the latency? Right now, I am trying to play Beach Buggy Blitz, Beach Buggy 2, and do you see the latency of it? Like, watch this. Is it any good? I don't think so. And the pixelization happens a lot along the way. And if I hold my hand, okay, around the Wi-Fi signal, I will show you more choppiness, more pixelization. And if I push the limits, like something like this plastic, okay, I'm using my footwear, sorry for that, but signal even have much more latency. And if I get close to you, giving the distance, okay, still, do you see the pixelization on the TV? Just focus on the TV, not my hand. What kind of pixelization happens? And if you have too much of a Wi-Fi, this will ruin your gameplay. Instead of this, I will create another video, why I hate casting, okay? This is the result. When you cast, these things will happen. And let's just be clear. When you're thinking to $50 to $75 cheap projector with casting, it will suck on the way. How will suck? It will suck how much? Too much. Because the CPU and GPU of internal of that cheap projector is going to be crappy than the latest 4K TV or $2,000, maybe let's just say $1,500 ultra short throw projector, or Google TV's 4K dongle around $45. So let's make this clear. You are paying $45 to $50 for a 4K Google dongle, or Realme, Xiaomi dongles like $50 to $60. And if you're going to go like NVIDIA Shield, you're going to purchase probably $150, $200 for a device that can be connected to use the Android source. And those devices have huge CPU and GPU power compared to your $50 to $65 or $75 projector. Let's just think about it. You're buying a $50 dongle and you're buying a $65 projector with everything included, like optical elements, the LCD unit behind, and the LED light source, and the power supply inside, the fan, whatever, the cooling, everything. And you're expecting the internal Android to perform. When you ask the question at the comment section, why I can't cast, why I can't do that, you can't. If you buy something extremely cheap, it will suck on those things. If something declares I am doing everything with cheap, it's probably a lie. We all know that, but we want to believe that lie because we don't want to spend the amount of money. So what do I recommend in this video then? Let me just give you an example. I'm going to close the TV. By the way, you're seeing the reflections, right? Right now, this is a lit environment. You're seeing the reflections, and I'm going to open the ALR screen that I got, and I'm going to open the Epson projector. As you can see, this is right away starting because it has one of the best, I guess, standby functions. And I'm going to install my HDMI port here. Let's just find it. And I did. So I got installed my HDMI port, and we're going to see the wonders of the HDMI. Let's start. If I hit it, and if I hit the source, HDMI 1, and yep, it started, by the way, kind of like a little bit of wrong way. This is Samsung DeX. So it's a PC mode. I can use it. I will make another video. This is a PC mode, but I don't want DeX. I just want mirroring, okay? Just show you the speed. You know the speed right now? No latency. So this is what you're paying. Like if you pay, instead of a $50 cheap projector and expect some stuff, just buy a $10 cable and solve that problem by connecting your smartphone instead of casting. Because you're going to be bored along the way of problems. And you're going to have no latency. Let's just play the game again. And let's quit. I'm going to start the race straight. And by the way, this projector is probably in the echo mode. Let's just go bright cinema. I'm going to put it on dynamic. And as you can see, no ambient light reflection comes. You're going to see a little bit gray, but I'm shooting HDR. I'm seeing much better picture, much better blacks than you do. But still, this way I can play without looking at my screen because I don't have any latency. And I can play games. And I can put my smartphone close to the projector. And I can use a gamepad. Later on, I will show you those scenarios that I created for my portable holiday sessions with my smartphone. How do I use this smartphone and why do I like it? And in the main focus, I don't want to lose the main focus of this video, but let's just go to the YouTube again and again open up the same 4K. Sorry, commercial again. I hate those commercials, but my YouTube account, and I'm going to return, and you're going to see no delay. If I hit the menu, it just comes right along the way. And I'm right now playing 2K footage, and I'm zooming, and you're seeing the biggest picture. without any latency, any jagged, or any choppiness effect. So that's why I prefer cable instead of Wi-Fi casting. I'm not against the casting, and when it comes down to my choice, I would prefer, instead of a cheap Android projector, I would go with the cheap non-Android 2 HDMI projector. That way I can connect my smartphone with the $10 cable, and with the second port I can connect my console, gaming console, or something like a Android dongle instead of my smartphone. And nowadays people are selling their full HD Amazon sticks, full HD Roku sticks, full HD Google dongles are getting much cheaper because nobody are using full HD dongles anymore. Everybody is getting upgraded to the 4K. You can buy those dongles like $15 probably in the second hand because they're brand new $30. If you were wondering, like, you can go $25 to $30, probably 25, you can buy the Google TV Full HD version and you can cast without any problem, and you're going to have the best application like Android version, and also you're going to have the license of the Google TV without any problem. I think I made clear every kind of decision along the way. Instead of a cheap Android projector, I would go an Android dongle and device with just a casting function, dummy projector without a smart function, because you can solve the casting with your smartphone if it supports HTML like mine do. And if you have a Apple product, you can convert from Lightning to HDMI. Those cables are expensive than the Type-C HDMI, but nowadays if you have an iPhone 15, it also have Type-C, and you can connect from Type-C to HDMI cable your iPhone 2. And one more thing, and Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu, Disney Plus, those applications sometimes don't support the casting because they don't have the license internally. Like many of the Wambu models, like I mentioned, TT and Mozart Limited, they don't have the proper full license. Instead of that, they are using a mobile license, so you're not going to get the best resolution. And one more thing, the other cheap brands, like I'm not talking about Wambu, Yaber kind of like products, if they don't have the license, they can't cast. When they can't cast, you can't cast the Netflix to the internal application. But with the cable, you can use your smartphone applications. Many of the applications, and I'm not saying all of them doing this, are sending the entire screen with the cable. So they are kind of like preventing for you to share the application and, you know, create a cinema and gain money out of it. Like you're a cafe owner and you're going to use your personal account to share the movies with the customers. It's not actually legal because you're using your personal account like a commercial account, but it's not a commercial account. So that's why you will love the cable or converters like this. I highly suggest you to go that direction if you ever need it. And let's just find a, if we have a better game, let's just open up the Sonic, by the way. I just want to play stuff. So this is a fast-paced game probably. And by the way, you're seeing the brightness levels. You're seeing the screen is highly gray, like lighter gray, but I see pretty much dark gray because the camera is adjusting in HDR to show you everything. Me, TV, this is extremely bright right now, and I'm not setting the tune for it. So if you are saying that, hey, this is not catching the TV, no, it's catching the TV, but you're not seeing it. I will make probably a dedicated lit environment video to show you that, where there is a little bit of gray, I agree, but it's not much as you think. So, in the end of the video, let me know what you think, and if you still prefer casting or cabling, and if you have any questions about mirroring, probably I think you already understand the topic of it. And It's up to you. But what I would do, I would choose the cable 90%. If you have a dedicated good Samsung Freestyle, portable good internal Androids where you can cast, you may want to use, like, maybe you have an Anker expensive portable projector, you might want to try casting because their Android is good. If you have an Epson like this, portable small ones like M2s, you might want to use those and internal Androids because they have licenses, they have good casting, good Wi-Fi signal. But if you're talking about less than $100 to expect everything, you're expecting in a wrong direction. Just buy a full HD cheap dongle because your projector is cheap. But like I told you in the early videos, if you give the 4K signal even to the full HD projector, you're going to get much more better picture. And one last thing in the end of the video, resolution drops. Let me just remind you that resolution drops. How happens? For casting, if the hardwares are not matching properly, like your projector or TV hardware is slow, the casting has a solution to reduce the resolution of casting. Let me just give you an example. This phone has a 4K resolution, around the 4K on the screen of its own. When I cast, it's giving 720p and a full HD region, roughly. Even with my latest 4K TV, QNET TV, and my Epson projector. But when I put the cable, I know it gives full HD and above. So if you want to get the best resolution, you also need, again, the cable. Maybe the most important, one of the most important factors of the cable just came right down at the end of the video. But if you watched it until now, hit the subscribe and the like button, and hope to see you in the next video, home cinema and tech review. Ask many questions as possible. If I find time, I will convert those questions through the guides and the videos. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye from home cinema and tech review.